repeated. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قالوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون. The translation of that, if I can remember it actually, without reading from the Qur'an, it says, for sure we will test you with something of fear and hunger and loss of goods and wealth and lives. But give good news to the patient who persevere, those who say, verily, to God we belong and to Him we're returning. That is the basic concept in Islam, that we are going back to God and we will have to answer for our life on this earth. And true success is not to be measured in terms of this life, because a person can be poor and forgotten. He may not be known. His name may be unmentioned, but God knows him, and he may be successful in the eyes of God. And in the hereafter, he'll be in such a position that you will feel humble to such a person. Success is in the hereafter, and religion is the means by which God has provided for our safety in this journey of life. So when we come to understanding Islam, we see it not only in terms of regulating human affairs just as a kind of a legalistic machine. It's not. It is basically concerned with the hereafter, with things which are unseen. But it has a direct effect on our life on this earth. If we believe in that life to come, then we must correct our life in this earth. And Islam provides for that. This is what I discovered when I read the Qur'an. Up until the point where I discovered the message of the Qur'an, I had always thought that religion was something which you keep for certain days of the week, and the rest of the week you kind of have a holiday. Holy day was the original meaning of that, but somehow it got lost as well. So basically, I learnt that Islam provides for the complete life of a Muslim. First of all, we see life is divided in a way, although things aren't divided so much in Islam as they're united, but there are two basic areas. One is our duty to the Creator. Secondly, our duty to the creation. Our duty to the Creator is to worship Him alone, not to set up any partner with Him. When we pray, to pray to Him alone. When we ask for help, to ask for help from Him alone. When we seek justice, we will seek justice from Him alone in the end. Then you have the duty towards the creation that begins with your parents, directly after the decree that you must worship only God and set no partner up with Him. Directly after that comes the order to be good to your parents, be kind and obedient to your parents. We were discussing that in our table before. So it sets up family relationships, your duty towards your family. It sets up community relationships. Islam doesn't force itself on anyone. The Qur'an says, There's no compulsion in the religion. How can you make a person believe if he doesn't believe? So what use is such a person to Islam? No, but there is a set system of relationships with Muslims and with non-Muslims. The basic rule with non-Muslims is that so long as they are not fighting you or trying to destroy you or pushing you out of your homes, then you have every right and every obligation to treat them with mercy and justice and kindness. That's a duty. So Islam sets those perimeters. Also, when it comes to the economic aspect of life, is that something that should be left up to the banks or to Wall Street? As we've seen recently what kind of a failure they make of it, we can see that this is not just the domain of people. God has said that a certain amount should be paid of your wealth to the poor. That's not charity, that's obligatory. And it's not just one of those things that once you've paid your tax, the rest of your money remains yours. No, every year you pay tax on what you have, your wealth. That means, that's very interesting, because if you look at the tax system, money is taken once, then you've got your money, you can do what you want with it. You can put it into banks and get interest, etc., etc. No, interest is forbidden in Islam. Also, if you have $1 million, you have to pay 2.5%. If after the next year you still have that $1 million, you still have to pay another 2.5%. So money is constantly being recycled to those who need it. It is never free from being paid. Anyone, it says in one of the sayings of the Prophet, that anyone who does not pay this, then their zakat will come to them on the Day of Judgment as a horrendous snake with fangs that will surround them and envelop them, and they will say, I am your zakat, which you refuse to pay. This is not charity, this is obligatory. Health is also preserved in Islam. Of course, we know that Islam forbids alcohol. It forbids, in the same sense, in the same spirit, it forbids drugs. Anything which befogs the mind or distorts the mind is forbidden. Health in so many things, even in the manner of slaughtering the animal which we eat. There is health factors in that. God has made it clear that we should slaughter the animal first in His name, because otherwise we have no authority to take any life. We can slaughter the animal in His name, then we must allow the blood to flow. Scientifically today, I mean, I'm sure some of you are aware that the greatest problem is the diseases, how many diseases can be found emanating from the blood. Get rid of the blood and you get rid of majority of the problem of diseases entering into the human body. Also, ecology is something which Islam is concerned with. As we said before, that Adam is vicegerent, so we are all vicegerents, trustees of the earth. We have no right to waste the resources of the earth. Even the Prophet said that when you're making wudu, washing yourself, even if you're washing in a river, you don't waste the water. You don't use more than you need. That concept is inbuilt in Islam. So basically, to sum up, Islam presents us with a way of life which is most beneficial for us here as well as ultimately